Imagine you ask an AI to design a secure password reset flow. The AI, being incredibly smart and logical, writes the code perfectly. It generates a form that requires a 25-character password, a special character, a number, a hieroglyph, and a blood sample. It then forces the user to re-log in immediately. It then sends a 2FA code that expires in 10 seconds. From a code perspective, this is a masterpiece. It is secure, it is efficient, it follows every cybersecurity best practice in the database. But from a human perspective, it is a disaster. The user is locked out, they are stressed, they are trying to pay a bill while their toddler is screaming in the background, and this perfect code just became the reason they canceled their subscription. This is the AI blind spot. We are currently flooding the world with software written by intelligence that has never felt frustration, never forgotten a password, and never had a bad day. AI can simulate logic, but it cannot simulate empathy. It lacks a critical psychological capability known as theory of mind. And today, we are going to explore why code written without this theory isn't just annoying, it's fundamentally broken. To understand why your AI-generated app feels off, we have to look at developmental psychology. Theory of mind is the cognitive ability to attribute mental states, beliefs, intents, desires, emotions to oneself and others. It is the ability to understand that your brain is different from my brain. Human children develop this around age 4. If you hide a toy while your friend is out of the room, you know that when they come back, they will look in the old spot. Even though you know it's in the new spot, you can simulate their ignorance. AI, large language models, does not have this. It predicts the next token based on patterns. It doesn't know that a user might be confused. It doesn't know that a user might be visually impaired, or in a rush, or technically illiterate. It assumes the user is a logical input machine just like itself. This leads to 3 major failures in modern software development. Failure. Number 1, the happy path fallacy. When AI writes code, it optimizes for the happy path, the scenario where everything goes right. Input A leads to output B, clean, linear. But humans live in the unhappy path. Humans double-click buttons by mistake. Humans enter their email with a space at the end. Humans hit the back button when they shouldn't. Because AI lacks theory of mind, it cannot anticipate irrational behavior. If you ask ChatGPT to write a React form for a credit card, it will give you the fields, but it won't inherently add the logic to strip the empty spaces from the credit card number, because it doesn't need spaces stripped. It assumes the user will type it perfectly. The AI builds for a user who doesn't exist, a user with infinite patience and 0 error rate. Failure. Number 2, cognitive friction. Good software isn't just about function, it's about flow. A human developer knows that if a task is hard, we need to break it down. We use progressive disclosure, showing information only when needed to keep the user from feeling overwhelmed. Why do we do that? Because we have theory of mind. We can simulate the feeling of being overwhelmed. AI has infinite cognitive capacity. It can process a form with 50 inputs in a millisecond, so it assumes you can too. It will generate a UI that dumps all the data on the screen at once. To the AI, this is efficient because the data is available. To the human, this is cognitive overload. The AI creates technically correct interfaces that feel psychologically hostile. It's like a conversation with a person who speaks in perfect paragraphs, but never pauses to let you breathe. And this brings up a really important question about your own mind. We talk a lot about user experience, but what about your experience? If you are a developer or a designer or just someone trying to build things in this AI age, it's easy to feel like you are the machine. We get so obsessed with efficiency and logic that we forget to upgrade our own operating system. We forget that understanding people, understanding why we get frustrated, why we lose focus, why we procrastinate, is actually the most valuable skill you can have. If you're the type of person who wants to understand the source code of human behavior, you are in the right place. That is literally all we do here. So if you want to stop building for robots and start building for people, take a second to hit that subscribe button right there. It's the best way to keep your human intelligence sharper than the artificial kind. Now, back to the code. Failure number 3 is the most obvious: the empathy void in error handling. You can tell instantly if an error message was written by a human or a machine. A machine writes, "Error 404, object null reference, exception in module B." This is factual, it is precise, and it is useless to the grandmother trying to buy a plane ticket. A human with theory of mind writes, "Oops, we couldn't find that flight. Please check the dates and try again." The human developer simulates the user's anxiety. If I see this error, I will feel panic. I will think I lost my money, so I need to write text that reassures me. AI cannot simulate panic. It treats an error as a state change, not an emotional event. When we let AI handle the edge cases, we create a software ecosystem that feels cold, indifferent, and bureaucratic. We are building a digital world that gaslights its users by blaming them for not being computers. This creates what I call the uncanny valley of UX. The app looks polished, the animations are smooth, the code is clean, but something feels wrong. It feels like a house that has been staged for sale, but no one actually lives in it. The light switches are in weird places. The doors open the wrong way. This is what happens when you remove the tacit knowledge of human behavior from the loop. Tacit knowledge is the stuff we know but can't explain. We know that a delete button should be red. We know that a user will hesitate before clicking buy. AI only has explicit knowledge, what it scraped from the internet. It can copy the look of Amazon, but it can't copy the psychology of Amazon. So is this the end of the developer? If AI can write the code, what is left for us? Everything that matters. The role of the software engineer is shifting. We're no longer just syntax writers. AI can do the syntax. We are becoming empathy architects. Your value is no longer in knowing how to write a for loop. Your value is in knowing how the user feels when the loop breaks. Your value is in theory of mind. You are the translator between the cold logic of the machine and the messy, emotional reality of the human. You are the one who says, "Hey AI, this code works, but it's going to make the user feel stupid. Let's change it." The future of tech isn't about who has the best algorithm. It's about who has the best understanding of people. We can automate the logic. We cannot automate the caring. And honestly, that's good news, because it means that as long as humans are the ones using the software, humans will be the only ones qualified to build it. I want to know, have you encountered a soulless app recently? Something that felt like it was built by a robot who hates you? Tell me the story in the comments. And remember, code is just a language. Empathy is the message. Don't let the machine do the talking for you.